Um, so I have been using the yeah, look all crazy. Yeah. So anyway, I have been using the water to flush it out of my system, and I was standing up and using the restroom, and they started going back behind the water fountains and messing with the water in the cell, and then it was burning my body when I would drink the water. And then so when I went into this new population, nobody wasn't drinking the water. And I was drinking it, and it was messing with my body. They wasn't taking showers long in the shower. I mean, most of the time you don't do that when you gotta share it, but it was something wrong with the water. And the girls kept getting called out, especially Katie, but they and Danielle. They kept getting calls out, and they was trying to go to court and get deals and stuff on their charges. And then Katie was trying to fight me, but the part about Miss Brown, they were trying to say, oh, they had made me sleep on the top bunk and climb up there. And then they was trying to say that, and my baby was shaking in my body, like I kept feeling shaking. My whole body was shaking like that, and it was the baby. It was shaking, and it was I was on the top bunk bed, and it was shaking my whole hip like this, like my hips. I'd be laying down, and my hips was doing this, and I'll just be laying there still, and the baby would be inside of me shaking like that, and shaking my hips, and I was afraid that the girls beneath me would feel the shaking and say something to have me drugged back to the Montgomery County Jail. I mean, drugged back to the segregated housing units. So, but I couldn't make the shaking stop because it just kept happening. And I got real paranoid and about it, and I started writing this black nurse in the infirmary, and I was like, can you please give me a doctor, please? And she wrote me back and was like, Miss Jones, do I need to contact mental health to have me dragged back to the segregated housing unit again? She was like, you're not pregnant. Do I need to contact mental health? But she didn't respond until I told her a few times, this is illegal, I need a doctor. And she didn't respond. And so when she finally did, she threatened to call mental health. And mental health did speak with me. And I told them that I thought that I had a miscarriage. But that, I would see the doctor, and I didn't want to talk about my pregnancy because they was like, I thought you said you miscarried. This white lady, and they were trying to make sure the baby was dead. And then I was like, I don't want to talk to you about that. That's personal. If I'm not here as your patient, she was like, I just want to make sure everything was okay with you. And I was like, I'm good. She was like, well, you don't have to speak with me or anything because I was not her patient. And I was like, okay, cool. If I need, I told her he was abusing me and all of that stuff, and I'm going to trial. And I'm going to get my child back, and I'm not going to deal with no more abusive men after that. But they still wanted to try to turn the situation around to make him look like some hero, and it was just crazy. So my body was shaking, and I was bleeding a lot. And then Miss Brown, I had told Miss Brown because I thought I could trust her because she was a black lady. So I thought I could trust her. And she said she was in there for something, but I know she said that she was using crack. And then I was telling Miss Brown, I was like, can you please feel my stomach or whatever? So I walked up to Miss Brown like this, and I was like, Miss Brown, feel it. And you can feel it. And so Miss Brown was like, oh, Andrea, I'm not finna entertain you with that. You bleeding. She was like, ain't no way you having no period. And all the other girls was like, ain't no way you having no period and you pregnant. Ain't no way you bleeding and you pregnant. Ain't no way you lying. And then so and they kept making me climb on the top bunk bed or whatever. And then so there was a girl named Lil Bit, and she got shipped off to go to prison or whatever. And she was telling me how she had an abortion. It was a whole bunch of blood, or no, she had a miscarriage or abortion. It was a whole bunch of blood, and it's like these women were trying to make me comfortable with letting someone kill my child. Like, you know, I'm like, if the baby's still alive, the baby's still alive. Like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not the type to try to make a child suffer or anything like that. But if there's anything you can do to try to save a child, to bring them into this world and then try to save them, you know what I'm saying, then that's what you do. And if they die, they die. You know what I'm saying? But you don't kill them. You do everything to help, you know. And that's the same thing go for hospice. When my mother was in hospice, they took the air off of my mother's face in hospice, and you're not supposed to do that. I feel like that was murder, because I found out that I had power of attorney, and I told them not to do that, and they told me I didn't have no right, and that my mother left Vanessa power of attorney, and they was in there taking the oxygen off of my mother when they said she was brain dead. And I came up there and I was praying over my mother, and my mother started moving and opening up her eyes and then doing this with her finger and looking at me, and she was not brain dead. And she started taking breaths on her own, you know what I'm saying? And I asked them to increase the oxygen, and they came in there and took it off of her. And I started screaming and running to go get my Uncle Derek. And I told my Uncle